Is Heritage more in favor of letting states, decide and let states be the incubators of policy rather than top down from the federal government? I feel like I'm answering that question myself.
Yeah, I mean that's the basic tenet of conservatism, really. I mean that's all like basic tenet of Americanism, right? This is what we signed up for when you joined the union, and that's what's happened with like the just pace of executive action is even more troublesome. I mean, there's this basic idea that the states will be reserved those rights, and the people will be reserved some rights. Not just have the federal government decide all this stuff and have an imperial POTUS, and an emperor instead of the president.
Biden in flowing robes. Are there any areas where Heritage foresees some opportunities for bipartisanship? I mean, what about infrastructure?
Well,
that's sort of gender neutral.
Yeah, that's the job, right? So we push back where we need to push back. We're firm where we need to be firm. I mean, we're trying. We would certainly laid it all out on the table. We have policies that we're pushing. We have policies that we know work. I won't say that the Biden administration really has been listening to conservatives or even engaging with. There's all this talk about how that would be the case. We're kind of finding that was all a show. This whole talk of unity really showed out to be only skin deep. I think this is the most divisive and partisan kind of beginning to an administration. Certainly all administrations have some actions that are, base pleasers in the beginning, but not of this volume and not of this degree, and certainly not against the backdrop of a leader who said that their primary goal was to, be a president for all Americans, not just Democrats. And we've already gone from that to yesterday where, Biden said that his definition of unity can be, include non-bipartisan legislation. And so he's really not going to bring conservatives to the table. I think got to move to the recognition that that's a fact. State attorneys general and legislators and the public are going to have to really speak up on this stuff and push back and get loud. It's going to be a really interesting time because they are thinking about doing some things that are catastrophic and permanent damage. And those fit into a separate category from a lot of this. But look at what they're thinking on immigration. I mean, they want to do the biggest massive amnesty in American history. Really, for historical purposes, I can't find any sort of immigration policy in any other country that have a bigger impact on the future of the country. So they want to take every illegal alien in the country and make them voters, okay, and fully legal. They think that's about 10 million right now, but it's some of that's immigration policy for a long time. So we have no idea how many illegal aliens in this country. There's been tons of efforts to try to count. We're still using Bush-era statistics. That's our best, guess then. And the reason there's never an accounting is because the left stops it every time because they don't want you to know how many there are. Because if the American people knew how many are in this country, it would be a lot more than 10 million, and people wouldn't be for amnesty. 10 million is very a lot. But 10 million to the voting, it changes everything. Texas goes blue, and that's why they want to do it. And so it's a huge political power grab. And then there's always ideas of, packing the Senate, ending the filibuster. Thankfully, ending the filibusters, by the way, when you go for 60 to 50 in the Senate, so you can just ram things through with a simple majority. But luckily, some senators on the left have said that they're opposed to it. So it looks like the line is holding a little bit. But if that line breaks, all of these things flow through that I think are catastrophic in terms of damage because they cement kind of single power political rule forever. And, and what we just talked about with, powers reserved to states and people.
Seems like good times for Heritage, though. I mean, it's never fun when when you agree with everything. It's good to have some adversarial, vibe.
Yeah, I mean, it's important. You can't really take much time off here. You gotta. There's too much going on. I mean, I guess it wasn't too long ago when President Obama was in, and there was a lot going on. I was on the Hill in that time, and there certainly was a full employment act for Hill investigators. So that's what I was doing. People would say there was no scandal. That was a scandal-ridden administration. But here at Heritage, we're focused on the policy. And there is going to be the blessing of it that it brings a lot of these policy discussions to the forefront. And the other blessing is our solutions are a lot better. A lot of what they want to do is deeply unpopular. And this whole idea of driving it all through the identity politics lens and basically shifting to a country that governs in, a racial context where programs and everything is viewed through the lens and guise of a bureaucrat, just apportioning you to based on your race, your sexuality, your whatever characteristic identity politics comes up with. People don't like that. I mean, it's going to be really, really divisive, and we got to make sure we don't shift to a government that kind of stops treating people equally and then moves in that direction. So we're going to be busy.
Well, I'm glad to hear it. Mike Howell is Senior Advisor for the Executive Branch Relations at the Heritage Foundation. He tweets at @MHowellTweets. Mike, thank you so much. Great to talk to you.
Hey, you too. Have a good day.
Take care.
Thanks for watching the Heritage Foundation's YouTube channel. With more than 500,000 members, we are the nation's largest conservative research and education institution. We believe the principles and ideas of the American founding are worth conserving and renewing. Please help us further our mission by subscribing to this channel and sharing our videos with your family and friends.